Greetings everyone. Today we will be discussing about IELTS speaking skills. So let's have a look on IELTS speaking test with an overview. IELTS stands for International English Language Training Testing System. There are two types of the IELTS test: IELTS Academic versus IELTS General. IELTS test is conducted in two modes. One is face-to-face and another one is online, known as a computer-based, or we can say it CBT. Among the four modules, IELTS speaking is the most demanding one in the sense that it requires your presence of active mind, vocabulary, knowledge, and performance. Basically, there are three main parts of the IELTS speaking test. Talking about IELTS speaking time duration, part 1 consists of 4 to 5 minutes, part 2 takes 3 to 4 minutes, while part 3 consists of at least 4 to 5 minutes. In the context of IELTS speaking time limit or IELTS speaking time duration, let us discuss these three parts in detail. Length of test. Length of test is actually according, you can say, up to 11 to 14 minutes, which is consisting of three parts. Part 1, questions on personal everyday topics. It will take 4 to 5 minutes. Part 2, a 2-minute talk on a given topic with 1 minute preparation time. It almost takes 3 to 4 minutes. Part 3, a discussion based on the topic in Part 2, in which candidates will be expected to express opinions, to speculate, and to discuss on a more abstract level. It will take 4 to 5 minutes. The test is recorded in the case if the candidate's performance needs to be remarked. IELTS speaking format. Part 1, as we have discussed, it will be included of introduction and interview, where examiner introduces him herself and confirms candidate's identity. Examiner interviews candidate using verbal questions based on a familiar topic frames, and it will take 4 to 5 minutes. Moving towards part 2, which is individual long turn, examiner asks candidate to speak for 1 to 2 minutes on a particular topic based on written input in the form of a general instruction and content-focused prompts. Examiner asks 1 or 2 questions at the end of the long turn. It will take 3 to 4 minutes, which includes 1 minute preparation time as well. In part 3, it's a two-way discussion. Examiner invites candidate to participate in discussion of more abstract nature based on verbal questions thematically linked to part 2 prompt, and it will take 4 to 5 minutes. IELTS speaking time duration and parts. There are the three parts of IELTS speaking test. These are part 1, introduction and interview, part 2, individual long turn, which is cue card. So the first part is introductory questions and second one is cue card. And part 3 is two-way discussion, which you can call as a follow-up questions as well. So IELTS speaking band's description is shown over here. You can see that IELTS speaking part 1, which is introductory part, it is consisting of one band. IELTS speaking part 2 is of cue cards and it is consisting of 6 bands. And IELTS speaking part 3, which is a follow-up questions, it is consisting of the 2 bands. So in total we have 9 bands, 6 plus 2 and plus 1. So the maximum band is of IELTS speaking part 2, which is of cue cards. This table will help you know about IELTS speaking test time and also its part. You can have a look on this slide because we have discussed each and every detail except for the questions. In questions, you can see that in part 1, we have 10 to 12 questions. In part 2, in cue cards, we have one cue card with hints. And part 3, which is a follow-up of the questions of the part 2, we have 4 to 6 questions in general. Part 1, introductory questions. It is based on introductory question and its weightage is 1 band out of 9. In part 1, the examiner asks you introductory questions. These questions are too short and easy. Through these types of questions, your examiner judges your ability of fluent speaking and also confidence level. Introductory questions consist of your name. It can ask you about your hometown. They can ask you about hobby. They can ask you about your education, your favorite game, and they can be asking you about your family. Basically, your examiner gives you 4 to 5 minutes to answer 8 to 10 questions in this part. Part 2, which is of cue card or task card. You can see in IELTS Speaking Part 2, which is known as a cue card or task card, you are given 1 minute time to prepare notes on a white paper that will help you to talk on that particular topic. Moreover, you have to speak 1 or 2 minutes on the given topic. During this time, your examiner controls your time length. IELTS cue card plays a crucial role in IELTS speaking test. Through this cue card, the examiner judges your ability of coherence and cohesion, vocabulary, pronunciation, fluency, and sentence structure sense in the given situation. To conclude this part, you are given 3 to 4 minutes to finish the portion of cue card completely. So here we have few tips regarding the cue cards. Cue card is the most important part in IELTS speaking test as it carries 6 bands. You need to practice these tips regularly before your exams. Practice your IELTS speaking cue card as much as possible. For preparing speaking test part 2, 1 minute time is given to you. You need to use this time wisely by writing main points in the bullet form. As you will be provided with one pen or one page or piece of paper where you can jot down your ideas. Your good fluency, coherence, and sentence structure have a good impact in the preparation and performance of IELTS speaking test. Record your own speaking for up to 2 minutes and then listen to it again to find your mistakes and weak points. Don't worry about the time limit of cue card. You should keep on speaking until your examiner stops you, as she or he is noting down the time duration by the help of stopwatch. Part 3, which is of follow-up questions. In part 3, the examiner asks you more questions which are related to the part 2. This part of the test is also very much important and gives you opportunity to discuss your opinion, ideas, and analysis in detail in front of the examiner. In part 3, the examiner asks you 4 to 6 questions and you are to give answers in 4 to 5 minutes. Marking criteria for IELTS speaking module. So these are few rubrics according to which you will be marked for speaking module. Number 1 is the task response, which means relevant data. If you are providing the relevant information which has been asked from you in the question, so you will be marked accordingly. And it is consisting of 25%. Use of appropriate vocabulary, it carries 25% marks. Coherence and cohesion, it also carries 25% marks. And in the last, grammar and accuracy, it also carries 25%. We will be discussing each rubric one by one. First is, what is fluency and coherence, which can be abbreviated as FC. The ability to speak fluently without repeating, taking pauses, and having the know-how to self-correct. How you are supposed to self-correct yourself during that speaking, it matters a lot as well. Know the usage of the right words, vocabulary, and grammar. Speak coherently with appropriate and strong cohesive features. And in the last, have a clear knowledge of the topic that is being asked to speak on. What is lexical resource, which is abbreviated as LR? Make correct use of collocation. Use a varied knowledge, range of words, vocabulary. Avoid making mistakes. Know how to paraphrase the questions while giving answers. Use less common vocabulary. Now we have grammatical range or grammar range and accuracy, which is abbreviated as GR. So sentences should be well structured. Word flow and sentence construction should be accurate. Your tenses should be used in the right manner, and answers should be grammatically correct as well. So these are all the points which will be covering the grammar range or accuracy. Now what is pronunciation? Use rising and falling intonation, correct pronunciation of words, ability to be understood throughout the test. Now we are moving towards practice for IELTS speaking test. Don't use big and new words. Use correct grammar structure for speaking. Don't worry about your accent. Expand your answers. Avoid repetition of words which are used in questions. Practice to use body language. Practice to think in English. All these tips will be helping you out in the IELTS speaking test. So working on cohesion and coherence, how you can work on this domain. Coherence is the logical arrangement of your talk and shows how every part of your answer is connected to another. Cohesion is the effective grammatical link of words. In short, cohesion is all about the connecting of sentence of its level, while coherence is about the connection of ideas. In simple words, thematic unity is coherence, while verbal unity is cohesion, and their proper use is the guarantee of 7 to 9 bands. Improve your task response. How you can work in this domain. First of all, you need to pay attention to the main hints of cue card. Write these hints in a proper arrangement in the bullet form, not in sentence form, as you will not be given more than 1 minute for the preparation of that particular section. Plan your specific points for speaking about more than 2 minutes. Avoid irrelevant details. And all these cues will help you out in the task response. Don't repeat the structure and vocabulary of questions. Use a variety of different words. Avoid repetition of words. Expand your sentence length and structure. Don't use the same pronoun again in this test. Using compound and complex structures is helpful in getting good bands. And this last point is very helpful, that when you are using compound and complex structures in your speaking and especially in writing, it will help you to achieve good bands in IELTS test. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel for further updates related to IELTS exam. Thank you.